Welcome to today's sewing tutorial. In this video, I'll guide you through how to sew the sweetest reversible baby playsuit and matching slippers. This adorable set is perfect for your little one or as a thoughtful handmade gift for a baby shower or new arrival. The playsuit features crossback straps, elasticized leg openings for a comfortable fit, and snap closures at the bottom for quick and easy diaper changes. It's both practical and cute, making it a go-to outfit for everyday wear or special occasions. What makes this project extra special is that it's fully reversible. You'll get two lovely looks in one. And the matching slippers are also reversible, completing the outfit in the most charming way. This is a beginner-friendly pattern, and I'll walk you through every step to make it simple and enjoyable, even if you're new to sewing. First, grab one of your pocket pieces. At the top edge, fold the fabric down twice towards the wrong side of the fabric, carefully matching the notches. Press each fold nice and flat with your iron to set them in place. Now, let's secure that lovely fold. Top stitch 1.8 centimeters from the top edge to neatly catch and hold the fold. Next, fold the remaining edges of your pocket 1 centimeter towards the wrong side. Press again with your iron, creating crisp edges all around. Repeat with the contrast piece. Grab your front playsuit piece and transfer the pocket placement markings carefully from the pattern. Now, position the pocket onto your playsuit, placing the wrong side of the pocket against the right side of the playsuit, exactly where you've marked. Pin to secure. Time to sew. Top stitch the pocket into place by stitching just 0.1 centimeter from the side and bottom edges. Go slow and steady. Cut small pieces of fusible interfacing, just enough to cover the spots where your buttons and buttonholes will go. Next, place the interfacing pieces on the wrong side of the fabric, right over the designated button and buttonhole areas. Use your iron to press them in place, following the interfacing instructions. Make sure to do this step on both the main fabric and the contrast fabric, and on both the front and back playsuit pieces. Be sure to mark the side notches on each front and back piece. Take your two front playsuit pieces and place them right sides together. Align the sides, armholes, and top edges, then pin everything in place to keep it nice and secure. Now, sew along those pinned edges using a 1 centimeter seam allowance, starting and ending at the side notch. After that, trim the seam allowance in half to reduce bulk. Next, make a small snip at the notches, being super careful not to cut through the stitching. Turn your pieces right side out and give those edges a thorough press with your iron. Let's move on to the straps. Start by taking your strap pieces and applying fusible interfacing to the wrong side of each one. This will give your straps a nice structure. Next, place the interfaced strap pieces right sides together, carefully aligning the long edges and the straight, small edge. Stitch along those edges using a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Once you've sewn them, Trim the seam allowance in half to reduce bulk and make turning easier. Then, turn the straps right side out. You can use a loop turner, a safety pin, or whatever tool you love best. Give those straps a good press, making sure the edges are nice and crisp. Take your back playsuit piece and place the straps onto it, right sides together, positioning them in the designated spots. Align the raw edges of the straps with the top edge of the back piece, making sure to match the notches. Pin them in place securely. Next, grab your back lining piece and lay it right sides together with the back playsuit piece, sandwiching the straps in between. Now, sew along the top edge using a 1 cm seam allowance. Once done, press the seam open to flatten everything nicely. Next, sew the side seams of the back piece, starting at the side notches, going up. Take your time to keep the layers aligned and smooth as you stitch. After sewing, make a small snip at the notches, being extra careful not to cut through your stitching. Then, trim the seam allowance in half to reduce bulk and allow the fabric to sit nicely when turned. Cut a piece of non-roll elastic to the measurement provided in the size chart. Place the elastic just under the top seam of the back piece, aligning its raw edges with the raw side edges of the fabric. Pin it in place and top stitch to secure the elastic in position at the edges. From the right side, sew a top stitch at 0.5 centimeters from the edge to fix the elastic in place. With the back piece turned right side out, it's time to create a clean and secure elastic channel. Start by sewing a top stitch just below the elastic, keeping close to the edge of the seam. As you sew, gently pull the elastic so that the fabric lays flat, but be extra careful not to catch the elastic in the seam. This will allow it to stretch freely within the channel. For a more polished and secure finish, you can add an optional second row of top stitching. To do this, sew along the center of the elastic, again gently pulling it as you go. This step will catch the elastic in place and prevent it from twisting or shifting over time. Time to bring your playsuit together. How exciting! Start by folding up the lining on both the front and back pieces so that the side edges of the fabrics are fully visible. With right sides together, place the front and back pieces together, aligning the sides of both the main fabric and the lining. Carefully match the side notches for a smooth, even join. Then, in one continuous go, sew down the sides of both the main fabric and the lining, using a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Once sewn, press the seams open with an iron to reduce bulk and give your playsuit a clean, professional finish. Fold the bottom crotch edge of each piece 1 centimeter towards the wrong side of the fabric. Take your time to fold evenly, and then give it a good press with your iron to set the fold in place. You're almost there, and it's time for the fun part, attaching the leg holes using the burrito method. Don't worry, it might sound tricky, but it's super satisfying once you get the hang of it. Place one leg hole at a time, right sides together, main fabric and lining, with the rest of the playsuit sandwiched inside. Pin in place. Sew the leg hole seam using a 1 centimeter seam allowance. After stitching, trim the seam allowance in half to reduce bulk. Now comes the fun part. Gently pull the playsuit right side out through the crotch opening and admire your cleanly finished leg hole. Press the edges with an iron. Repeat the same process for the second leg. With the crotch edges folded inwards, sew a top stitch on the leg hole edges at 0.7 or 1 centimeter, thus creating the elastic channel. Cut 2 pieces of non-roll elastic to the length specified in the size table. Next, attach a safety pin to one end of the first elastic piece. Use it to carefully thread the elastic through the leg hole elastic channel, working it through gently until it comes out the other end. Repeat this step for the second leg. Once both elastics are in place, pin each end of the elastic at 1 centimeter from the channel openings, making sure the elastic lays flat and isn't twisted inside the channel. Let's secure that crotch area with a clean, sturdy finish. With your playsuit right side out and everything aligned, it's time to top stitch around the crotch area. Sew a rectangle-shaped top stitch as follows. Stitch the sides and bottom edges at 0.1 centimeters from the fold. Then, stitch the top edge of the rectangle at 1.5 centimeters, creating a secure and polished closure, catching the elastic ends as well. Now for the grand finale. Let's add those finishing touches. Start by transferring the button and buttonhole markings from your pattern onto the fabric. Take your time with this step to make sure everything is aligned just right. Next, sew the buttonholes in the following spots. Along the top edge of the front piece, where the straps will attach, on the front top sides, and on the back crotch area. If you've made your playsuit reversible, here's a neat trick. Sew the buttons back to back, so you'll have a button on each side of the fabric. That way, no matter which side you wear, everything looks polished and functional. Grab your shoe pieces and double check that you have 2 of each, both the main fabric and the contrast fabric. I am sewing just 1 shoe for the video, so I only have 1 of each. If you'd like a little extra structure or padding, feel free to add fusible interfacing or fusible fleece to the main fabric. This step is totally optional, but it can give your shoes a sturdier, cozier feel. Let's start by sewing the heel. Place the main fabric and contrast fabric right sides together and sew along the top edge with a 0.7 centimeter seam allowance. Once you're done, flip the pieces right side out and give that seam a nice press. The cleaner it looks, the better. Now, with the fabric's wrong sides together, it's time to make the elastic channel. Top stitch 1 centimeter from the edge to create the casing where the elastic will go. Grab your safety pin and your elastic piece. Let's thread it through. Attach the safety pin to one end of the elastic, then gently insert it into the elastic channel you just created. Work it through until the other end of the elastic reaches the opening. Once both ends of the elastic are in place, top stitch each end to secure it. After stitching, give the elastic a gentle pull to help it distribute evenly inside the casing. Time to attach the heel to the main fabric toe piece. Start by placing the heel and the toe piece right sides together, lining up the short edge of the heel with the top right straight corner of the toe piece. Make sure you're matching the same fabric types, main with main, and contrast with contrast. Pin in place. Now do the same on the other side. Attach the other end of the heel to the left corner of the toe piece, right sides together, and pin. Next, take the second toe piece and place it on top, right sides facing, so the heel piece is sandwiched in between. Line up the entire straight edge and pin everything securely. Sew along the straight edge with a 0.7 centimeter seam allowance. Turn everything right side out and press the seam really well. Then sew a top stitch across the top of the toe piece, using a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance, catching all layers. Sew a top stitch at 0.5 centimeters on the raw edge of the shoe to keep everything in place. Let's attach the sole to your shoe. Take one of your sole pieces and match it with the top piece in the same fabric, main with main, contrast with contrast. Place them right sides together, lining up the raw edges all the way around. Pin in place to keep everything secure, then sew around the edge with a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance. Don't forget to match the notches. Now it's time to add the second sole piece. Place it right sides together with the shoe piece you just sewed, and align the raw edges all the way around. Make sure to match the notches, then pin everything in place. This time, sew with a 0.7 centimeter seam allowance, but don't forget to leave a 4 to 5 centimeter gap on one side. You'll need it to turn the shoe right side out later. Tip: before sewing, use chalk or a removable fabric pen to lightly draw the seam allowance line along the edge, especially around the curves. This will help you sew more accurately and neatly, keeping your stitches right where they need to be. Trim the seam allowance in half to help reduce bulk. This will make your shoe look much smoother once it's finished. Then, turn the shoe right side out through the gap you left earlier. Once it's right side out, press the edges carefully with an iron to give everything a clean, polished look. Tuck the seam allowance inside the shoe where the gap is, so the edge lines up neatly. Then, close the gap using either a hand stitch, like a ladder stitch for an invisible finish, or a neat top stitch close to the edge, whichever you prefer. Your shoe is now ready. Look how cute it is. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new tutorial.